In this tutorial, we will learn about YAML and explore its role in DevOps practices. We will cover the basic syntax and structure of YAML, understand how it is used for configuration management, and see how it helps define workflows in tools like CI/CD pipelines. By the end, you will have a clear understanding of how YAML simplifies automation and improves consistency in DevOps environments. What is YAML? YAML is a human-readable data serialization format designed to be simple and easy to write and read. Unlike other formats, it uses indentation instead of curly braces or brackets to define structure, making it clean and visually intuitive. YAML relies on spaces to show nesting in a hierarchical structure, which means it is very strict about white space and formatting. It is primarily used for configuration files and for storing or transmitting data between systems. Common use cases include Docker Compose files, Kubernetes configurations, and CI/CD pipeline definitions, where clarity and simplicity are essential. YAML, JSON, and HTML are all used to structure data, but they serve different purposes and have distinct syntax styles. YAML is designed to be human-readable and easy to write. It uses indentation spaces to represent structure instead of symbols like braces or tags. This makes it especially useful for configuration files. JSON, JavaScript object notation is also used for data serialization, but it relies on curly braces and brackets to define structure. It is more strict than YAML and is widely used for APIs and data exchange between systems. HTML, hypertext markup language, on the other hand, is not a data serialization format. It is used to structure and display content on web pages using tags. While it can represent data, it is not ideal for configuration or data storage. In YAML, you can represent the data using simple key-value pairs. For example, you would write the name as Joe Doe, the age is 20, and indicate that the person is not a student by setting it to false. To list skills, YAML uses dashes, so each skill, Python, JavaScript, and SQL, is written on a new line with a dash in front. This structure is easy to read because indentation clearly shows how the data is organized. In YAML, this configuration would describe an application named MyApp with version 1.0.0. It includes a server section where the host is set to localhost and the port is 3000, indicating where the application will run. There is also a database section that specifies the type as MongoDB, along with the username admin and the password secret for authentication. The structure uses indentation to clearly separate the application settings, server details, and database configuration, making it easy to read and understand. In a Docker YAML configuration, such as a Docker Compose file, this setup would describe an application called MyApp with version 1.0.0, along with its server and database settings. The application would be configured to run on a server hosted at localhost on port 3000. It would also include a database service using MongoDB, with the username set to admin and the password set to secret. These values are typically defined using environment variables and service configurations in Docker Compose, allowing the app and database to run together in containers while keeping the setup organized and easy to manage. This GitHub Actions YAML file defines a CI, continuous integration pipeline named CI pipeline that runs whenever there is a push to the main branch. The pipeline contains a single job called build that executes on the Ubuntu latest environment. Within this job, there are two steps. The first step checks out the repository code using the actions checkout at v3 action, allowing subsequent steps to access the code. And the second step runs a simple script that executes echo hello world. The YAML structure uses indentation to show hierarchy clearly, making it easy to read and understand the workflow's triggers, jobs, and steps. This YAML file defines a Kubernetes deployment for an application named MyApp. It specifies the API version apps v1 and declares the kind as deployment. Under the metadata section, the deployment is named MyApp. The spec section controls the deployment behavior. It will maintain two replicas of the application, ensuring that two instances of the app run simultaneously. The selector uses labels to identify which pods belong to this deployment, matching pods labeled app, MyApp. The template section defines the pods themselves. Each pod is labeled app, MyApp, and contains a container named MyContainer that uses the Nginx image. The container exposes port 80, allowing network traffic to reach the application. The YAML's hierarchical structure, defined through indentation, makes it clear how the deployment, replicas, pod template, containers, and ports are organized for Kubernetes. You have successfully learned the basics of YAML for DevOps. You now understand how YAML is used for configuration, data serialization, and automation. You've seen how indentation and clean syntax make it easy to define servers, databases, applications, CI/CD pipelines, and Kubernetes deployments. With this knowledge, you can write clear, structured YAML files for Docker Compose, GitHub Actions, and other DevOps tools, making your infrastructure and workflows more organized and maintainable.